Hi, what's going on, everybody? I'm Michael Myers. No, not the Wayne's World guy or the Austin Powers guy. I'm not them. I'm somebody else. I'm the guy that's been involved with Halloween, the day, and the movie franchise for the past 40 years. Today, I'm going to get candid about it. So, let's get started with the very first Halloween from 1978. Alright, so Halloween 1978. Let me set the scene for you. Follow me. So here we go. I'm just sitting at home in my humble Haddonfield estate, right? I know, Hollywood hasn't changed this humble Haddonfield boy. So I'm just sitting at home in Haddonfield. My phone rings. And his voice on the other end doesn't say hello, doesn't say, can I speak to Michael? It's, Michael, baby, you're perfect, I gotta have you. I'm like, I don't know who this person is. And I'm thinking to myself, like, whoa, slow your roll. How do you know I'm not gonna hang up on you? He said, alright, well, just hear me out. You're perfect, Michael. I gotta have you. You're perfect. I go, okay, I'm perfect, but first tell me who you are. He said, well, my name's John Carpenter. I said, okay, John, before we go any further, how about you tell me how you got my phone number? Well, you know Deborah Hill, right? Oh, yeah, Deborah and I, we go way back. Yeah, well, Deborah and I were working on this little project. I said, okay, so what's this project all about? He said, well, it's a movie, and it's called Halloween, and you'd be perfect for it. I said, I'd be perfect for it. He said, yeah. I need a big, strong, imposing movie tank of a guy, a giant badass, to just run around and impose his will on everybody. Can you do that for me? I said, well, I'll tell you what, is there anything else that's going to happen here? He says, there's a bonus here. You get to be the guy, the focus of this picture, right? You get to be this big, strong, imposing, unstoppable tank of a movie badass, the focus of this picture, and here's the bonus. We're shooting it in Haddonfield, your hometown, so you get to be the guy. You get to be the guy above everybody. You get to be the focus of this picture. And you get to be an unstoppable movie badass. So can you be that guy? Can you be my unstoppable movie badass in Halloween? Thought about it for 2 seconds. I said, you know what, John? When you put it like that, how can I say no? You got yourself an unstoppable movie badass, because I'm in. And that's how I got signed on to Halloween, and the rest, as they say, is history. But there is more, about 40 years worth of history that I have to get through, and we'll continue right after this. Alright, so for Halloween 2, John himself called me up at home again and said, Mikey, you ready for round 2? I said, come on, John. After the last one, you bet I am. You know I am. So let's get this thing kicked off. And that was basically how the whole pre-production process on Halloween 2 started. Now, I will say that we shot this film in a hospital. I'm not a big fan of that setting, simply because I was outside for the first one, and I like being outdoors. When you spend the majority of your life surrounded by the same walls, and somebody says, you're going to go outside for a little while, you relish that, you take advantage of it. But nonetheless, we shot this film in a hospital. I mean, there were some exciting elements to the film. That hot tub scene was something, right? I mean, the boiling water. Hey, everybody had a little fun with that one. And then, you know, the ending with Loomis, that was straight fire. But unfortunately, Laurie and myself didn't end up seeing eye to eye in the end. Now, folks, those I'm throwing in for free. I'll be here all week. It was a fun film. I enjoyed it. Halloween 2, you know, not as good as the original, in my opinion. Not as fun as the original, but still had fun making that film. Alright, so Halloween 3. Fortunately, I don't have much to say about this one, simply because I wasn't there, right? I wasn't there. They wanted to take the series in a brand new direction, and I just took some time off, explored some other interests, and got out of that boiler suit, you know what I'm saying? I'm assuming Laurie wasn't there either, but that was Halloween 3. Unfortunately, I just wasn't there, and they decided to do something else with the film franchise. The year is 1988, okay? It's 1988. Halloween is 10 years old. They're trying to figure out what to do. My phone rings, and I tell you what, they ask, and they receive. The fans asked for it. You guys asked for it. The studio asked for it. Everybody wanted Michael everywhere. So here's the deal. Of course, Michael Myers has to make a return to Halloween. Halloween 4. This is the first time since Halloween 2 in 1981 where I came back. This is the first Halloween movie that I have been on in 7 years. Of course I said yes. You guys wanted me back. The entire world was clamoring for more Michael Myers, and of course I had to oblige. The studio said, hey, they want you back, and I was like, yeah, take me back, please, I'm ready, let's do this. So, we had a ton of fun with this film. It's probably the most fun I'd had on a film set, or at least on a Halloween set, since we broke ground on the original. We got to introduce my niece Jamie. I got to work with her for the first time. It was great to see Dr. Loomis again and work with him, considering the last time I saw him, he was in pieces on a hospital floor. I did miss having Laurie around, but you can't win them all. Halloween 4, still a ton of fun. Probably the most fun I'd had since breaking ground on the original 10 years prior in 1978. Alright, so Halloween 5. I think we went right into production on Halloween 5 as soon as we wrapped Halloween 4. I will tell you certain things about this film. They said nothing about the mine shaft and or throwing a stick of dynamite down there, but when you're a professional, you just gotta roll with the punches. And that's basically what I had to do. Thankfully, I found an exit, and, well, you got Halloween 5. Of course, we had Dr. Loomis back, and my niece Jamie. It's great to work with them again. We did the best that we could, though in the end, it felt like a giant Scooby-Doo episode with, Dr. Loomis using Jamie as bait to get me, and then the whole Fred Jones style chainmail net thing. That thing was heavy. But that was Halloween 5. What can I say? It felt like a giant Scooby-Doo episode. We did the best that we could, but that's what you ended up with. Just a giant, extended, expanded Scooby-Doo episode with yours truly thrown in the mix. The year is 1995, grunge is king, and we are back with Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Now, if you had to be there for the rewrites, if you had to read the script and see all the reshoots, you'd see why the title of this movie is super appropriate, and why being me sometimes is a curse. Now, what I will say about this movie is I didn't like the thorn symbol, the lead pipe, or the stones. Tommy Doyle, he's a good kid. He got his licks in for sure. Now, that's the only way I can put a bow on this film. So, can we do Michael a favor? Can you all do me a favor? Can you stop bringing it up when you see me in line at the supermarket? I don't want to talk to you about Halloween 6 and what an ever-loving mess it is. Halloween 6 is a mess. They didn't know what to do with it. Why do you think they waited 6 years to make a sequel to Halloween 5? They were still so confused. Now let us never speak of Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, ever again. Please and thank you. Year 20. It is 1998, and we're into Halloween H2O. She's back. Yes, Laurie returns, and it was awesome to get to work with Laurie again, as well as my nephew John for the first time. That was cool. Just let's make it a giant family affair. The only thing missing was my niece Jamie, but that aside, working on the production of Halloween H2O was so awesome. It was so cool to get to see some new faces as well as some old ones and just come together and make this awesome film. I did figure that when they called me to do H2O that this would be it, the perfect way to wrap up this series so we could move on. I mean, when Jamie lops my head off, yes, I know I can miraculously grow one back. Still, that when she lopped it off in the film, I figured that would be it. After 20 years, we could all hang it up and just move on to other things. It was just a great way to wrap up this glorious franchise, and I couldn't have asked for anything better. Great to work with Laurie again, as well as my nephew John for the first time. Make it a giant family affair. And I can't really say anything more about it other than I loved working on H2O. We have left the 90s and are now in the new millennium with Halloween Resurrection from 2002. Now, I had a meeting with Rick Rosenthal and Paul Freeman. They gave me the breakdown, the pitch, and they said, Michael, you're going home. When they said that, I instantly signed on to do another movie. When I got there, I mean, there's not much I can say about the production on this film. When I got there, I found a bunch of people in my old house and just decided to have a little fun. I mean, a TV producer stole my gimmick, wasn't happy about that, and samurai swords actually hurt. Either way, I signed on to do Resurrection, had some fun with it, but there's not much I can say about it. It's a movie, it's in the franchise, just there it is. About 5 years later, Dimension Films called and said that they wanted to take the Halloween franchise in a new direction. Thus, you do a remake, you do a reboot. And I'm not one to stand in anyone's way. If you want me there, great. If you don't, that's fine, I'll just take an extended vacation. But they said that I might like to be involved with this remake or reboot. And I said, why? He said, well, Laurie and Dr. Loomis are back. I figured, okay, that's the standard fare. And then they said, well, this time you'll get a chance to work with Rob Zombie. Now, I didn't want to play my hand too aggressively because I've always been a big fan of Rob Zombie, at least his music. So I said, you know what? While I'm jumping for joy on the inside, why don't you set up a meeting between me and Rob, and we'll take it from there and see what happens. So I said, sure. A few days later, I meet with Mr. Zombie himself, and he put it over the top for me. He's what sealed it, okay? He told me that he wanted me to be the Michael of old, the aggressive, over-the-top, tank-like monster that he first saw in 1978. And how could I say no to that? I signed on to do the movie, and the rest, as they say, is history. But while we were filming, my mantra was be aggressive, be over the top, just be Michael, and that's what came out on screen. And you know, now that I'm sitting here reflecting on my entire career within the Halloween franchise, there's something about the Annie Brackett character from the Rob Zombie films that I can't quite place. It's like deja vu all over again. I've seen her somewhere, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something so familiar about Annie Brackett, and I can't quite figure it out. 2009, we all returned for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Now, for some reason, it came to light that I was going to speak in this film, I had to speak in this film, and I was excited about it. I figured, I'd get a monologue, and then one day end up on the Tonight Show. I mean, is Johnny Carson still hosting it? No, it's probably somebody else now. But I figured, I'll have a monologue, I'll have lines. Not quite. I had one word, and to date, it's been my only word in the history of the franchise. Needless to say, I know it wasn't a monologue, but it was one word. I said it with pride. I said it the best I could. And I'm happy that I said it. I'm happy that it was in there. I'm happy that I got to speak. And yes, I know that my face is expressionless, but I'm happy nonetheless. Just trust me. Halloween 2 is much the same with Rob Zombie's version of Halloween, except I got to speak. I wanted a monologue because I wanted to end up on the Tonight Show. Didn't quite work out. One word nonetheless, and that makes a man like me, Michael Myers, very happy. Here we are with the end of the line. We've reached the climax to the Halloween franchise, 2018's Halloween. That basically retcons everything I just said, but we'll talk about it anyway. So Miramax called again. Bill Block from Miramax called. Said, Michael, how about another? Give me a call. And I thought about it. After about a 9-year vacation, let's call it, or a 9-year sabbatical, whatever you want to call it, I was actually itching to get back in the saddle, and I just wanted to jump right back into it. So after sleeping on Bill's phone message for about a night, I popped right back up first thing in the morning, called him back, and immediately said yes. you know? I mean, of course, you had Laurie come back, and this time she brought her daughter, my niece Karen, and Karen brought along my great niece, her daughter, Allison. It was a giant family affair. I couldn't have been happier. Though the one thing about this film that did get under my skin a bit was that there were these two podcasters that kept pestering me to try and speak. They kept saying, well, you did it for Rob Zombie. Can you give us a few words? Can you give us a soundbite? No, honey, that's not why I'm here. And then they asked, well, Michael, why are you here? I said, listen very closely, okay? Perk your ears up. If you run, okay, just run, I'll be right behind you, and I bet that even you two are smart enough to figure it out, okay? And then calamity ensues and yada yada yada. But those podcasters, my goodness, just let a man come back and make a living in peace. Let the man give the people what they want. They wanted Michael Myers. I'm here to give them Michael Myers. I'm not here to speak for you. Let the film speak for itself. Let my art speak for itself. Let my blood-soaked art speak for itself. I will say that after all these films, and after all these years and all these decades, I am super proud of Laurie and the woman she's become. Not just for kicking my ass every single time, and especially kicking my ass in this one, the last Halloween, 2018's Halloween. She's always there, okay? She's my perfect dance partner, and if Tinseltown had a mirror ball trophy, you bet your bottom dollar that we would win every single year. She's always raring to go another round with me, and she is the perfect foil to my Michael Myers isms, if you want to call them that, okay? She is the peanut butter to my jelly, the Sunny to my Cher, the Pinky to my brain, the Dr. Loomis to my Dr. Wynn, whatever, what have you. She is perfect. She completes me, and I couldn't have been more proud of the woman she's become. Well, there you have it. A look back, a candid look back on my history with the Halloween franchise. It's been one hell of a ride, and I couldn't have asked for a better fan base and a better set of films to leave my mark. I'd like to thank John Carpenter, Deborah Hill, Dr. Loomis, Jamie, Laurie, and everyone else involved who's helped me along the way. Thank you all very, very much. I'd also like to thank the fans for continuing to watch and want more and more of the franchise and of me, Michael Myers, year after year. You guys are all awesome. I thank you all very, very much. Lastly, I'd like to thank William Shatner, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows why. We will see you all in 2021 for Halloween Kills. Until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for wanting more and more of Michael Myers, me, and Halloween. Thanks again. You all take care. We'll see you soon.